Bienvenidos, benvindu to the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here, the only English language podcast devoted to South America's premier club competition. I'm your host, Howard Hamilton, the founder of Soccermetrics. The first legs of the quarterfinal round are in the books, and in this episode, I'll review the four matches and set the stage for the return legs next week. Let's get to it with the scores, the classified results, as the British put it. And we start in the top half of the bracket. Fluminense 1, Atletico Mineiro 0. Colo-Colo 1, River Plate 1. And in the bottom half of the bracket, Botafogo 0, Sao Paulo 0, and Flamengo 0, Peñarol 1. So in comparison to the group stage, which saw about 2.5 goals per match, and the round of 16, which had just over 2 goals per match, the goal scoring of the quarterfinal stage has slowed right down. Only 4 goals over the 4 matches, resulting in 1 home win, 2 draws, and 1 very big away win. Let's talk about what happened. And we start in the top half of the bracket. Fluminense defeated Atletico Mineiro 1-0 at the Maracanã in a match in which Fluminense dominated the proceedings and the possession. Paulo Gonçalves and John Arias were the main creators for Flu, while Paulinho and Hulk had most of the goal-scoring chances for Atletico, and Hulk and Scarpa the creative chances, the creative opportunities. It looked as if Fluminense were going to finish this match 0-0, which would have put them at a serious disadvantage as the series switched to Belo Horizonte. But Lima rose high to meet a header off a cross in the 87th minute to secure the 1-0 victory. Fluminense are undefeated in their last 14 matches of Copa Libertadores. In the other match of the top half, Colo-Colo drew with River Plate 1-1. This was a match in which the most internationally experienced players featured for both sides. Marcos Acuna for River Plate, Arturo Vidal for Colo-Colo. Borja had a couple of chances in the initial stages, but Colo-Colo controlled the first half afterward. Leonardo Gil hit the crossbar, but just before halftime, Acuna had a free kick. His free kick met the head of Petzela, or actually met the legs of Petzela, and his finish allowed River Plate to gain the important away goal. On the hour mark, Carlos Palacios scored the equalizer for Cacique. Vidal played him in. Palacios was in an onside position, and he converted past Armani with a cool finish. VAR verified that Palacios was indeed onside, and Colo-Colo had the 1-1 result up to that moment. It was a deserved result for both sides. River Plate did not show the best side of themselves, but they got out of it with a 1-1 draw. But neither side got out of it cleanly. Right at the end, or almost at the end, in the beginning of stoppage time, Paulo Diaz and Maximiliano Falcon squared up against each other inside the Colo-Colo box for a free kick. They tangled, there was a little bit of handbags, there was an armbar, and both players went to ground. The Brazilian referee came over and showed both players a yellow card. Both players continued to square up again. They continued to push. They continued to jaw. They had to be separated. The referee came over again and showed both players a second yellow card. So both players were sent off. They continued pushing and jawing each other as they exited the pitch. Both players challenged each other to a fight outside the stadium. They were really a couple of jackasses. It was a really stupid red card for both players, and it'll put both sides at a disadvantage in the second leg. But right before the death, Armani saved a potential winner by Paiva deep in the stoppage time. So once again, Armani coming to the rescue of his team. And the match ended in a 1-1 draw. In the lower half of the bracket, Botafogo drew 0-0 with Sao Paulo at Estadio Nilton Santos. This was a match in which Botafogo enjoyed most of the possession, but the scoreless result represents a blown opportunity for them. The center of much of the chance creation for Botafogo came from Thiago Almada. The former Atlanta United midfielder missed a chance in the 12th minute, but he created at least 3 other opportunities for his teammates and led his teammates in expected assists. Actually, he led all players in expected assists in this match. Jefferson Savarino hit the post in the 35th minute, and Luis Enrique came close on 2 occasions. Igor Jesus also had a couple of opportunities for Botafogo. Sao Paulo held back and resisted much of the pressure from the black and whites, but went much more forward in the last 15 minutes. Damian Bobadilla was most impactful for the visitors, and Jonathan Caleri had the best chance of the match in front of goal. And to be honest, he really should have scored from where he was. This was a match in which Sao Paulo were a lot more muted in chance creation, but the bottom line is that they survive and are better placed for the second leg. The final match of the week saw Flamengo lose at home to Peñarol 1-0. This is a result that will send shockwaves throughout the entire continent. I felt in the run-up to this match that Peñarol were the best placed of all of the teams that did not win their group. And they took the lead on a goal by Marcelo Cabrera. And they came close to the second a couple of times. Armani Rossi actually came to Mengal's rescue a couple of times. Maxi Silveira was a key contributor for Peñarol. Oscar Mendez had a couple of chances. He led the team in expected goals. Peñarol were a lot more creative in the midfield. They were a lot stronger in their penalty area when they were defending. At Washington Aguirre, they made 6 saves. It was a complete team effort by El Carbonero, who will see themselves as candidates to win Copa Libertadores. And there will be recriminations for Big Mango. There are recriminations already if you look at the fan websites, if you look at the media outlets in Brazil. A lot of commentators are really decrying Flamengo's performance. De Arrascaeta, for example. He's coming off an injury, but his performance was disappointing for the home side. But Peñarol have to be feeling really good about their chances, but this is still a Flamengo team that is capable of achieving an important away result. So everything is in place across the 4 matches leading up to the second legs next week. And turning to Atlanta United alumni who have been playing in Copa Libertadores, this is an Atlanta-based show, and I imagine a number of listeners to this podcast are Atlanta United fans. Thiago Almada, as I just mentioned, started and played the full match for Botafogo. Leandro Gonzalez Perez was subbed in for River Plate and played the last 5 minutes. And Luis Araujo, who plays for Flamengo, suffered a knee injury in the league match on the weekend and is out for at least the quarterfinal round. So that's it for the first leg of the quarterfinals of the 2024 Copa Libertadores. And you can find XG maps, flowcharts, and passing network maps for every Libertadores match on Soccermetrics' XFeed. Match data supplied by Data Factory Latin America. If you want to follow me and send a comment or question, my X handle is @Soccermetrics. You can also send questions or comments to @SoccerDownHere or to Jason Longshore at Longshoe. I'll be back next Monday to preview the second legs of the quarterfinal round as the competition marches 90 minutes closer to the final in Buenos Aires. This has been the Soccermetrics Copa Libertadores show, a production of Soccermetrics and Soccer Down Here. See you later. Hasta luego. Até mais.